Okay, everybody, here we go. And we have a lot to talk about. Post market wrap up on this Thursday. Thursday, right? Yeah. September 7th. September? Is it September? I'm all flustered right now. Is it September? Yeah, it's September. September 7th, 2023. Before I even cut into the meat and potatoes of this video, I want to just I want to set the record straight here. I don't know how many of you were here with me yesterday when I covered the freak show with this new Federal Reserve Vice Chairman, Philip Jefferson. Well, I got slammed. I was called a racist and everything else under the sun because of that video. A couple of people cited the fact, number one, that I called him a thing. And number two, that I said he wasn't human. Those of you that have been with me for any length of time know I say that about everyone. Okay, I don't think any of them they have no human qualities. That's all I meant. Okay, for if any of you out here got so flustered that you think that's all I got. Greg, you're a racist. You're this. You're that. I am so far detached from a racist. It's not even funny. I did not mean to come off that way. Again, I called him a thing because he is a thing. They're all freaking things. It has nothing to do with his skin color or anything else. And he isn't human because, in my view, oh yeah, my platform is poverty and equality, and I'm worth multi-millions of dollars. I mean, really. And we know why this guy was chosen. This guy was chosen because he's going to spend beyond belief, and that's what they need to do. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, people look for anything that you say and twist it. I think some of these people are just out of their freaking minds. Yeah, maybe I am a racer, but I am not a racist. All right, look, with that said, I want to cover what the FDIC just said today. But before we do that, let's just go over to this market real quick. Stocks finished mixed. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ finished lower. The Dow put on a slight gain. Okay, whatever. The 10-year yield is stable for now. I mean, this is not a pretty place. Let's just establish that. This is not a pretty place for the debt market nor the 10-year yield. There is a profound problem here. The relative strength of the dollar today, higher. Crude oil hovering about where it's been past couple days. WTI over 87. Crude $90. So again, there's the whole setup here for all of us. You got cryptocurrencies today catching a bid, not too much, but a little higher. You got gold and silver. Gold flat, silver under some pressure. That's the market here. Whatever. Okay, risk in this market is. It's dangerous. Okay, we are very close to an extreme level, and look, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Axiom Curve, Magic Mika, Lord Humongous, Alan Greenspan, Clayton, all my friends are here, but anyway, so as all of you know, okay, let's just recap this issue with the banks. There is a massive underlying problem here. Okay, you and I, and this is the truth, okay, started covering this before anybody. Over a year ago now. Remember we talked about no deposits, no loans, no deals. We watched what happened to the regional institutions. They want you to believe it's contained to the smaller regional banks. This is not true. Okay, the same issues that the smaller and regional banks are dealing with, the big banks are also dealing with, and it may be a lot worse off. Again, these smaller regional banks, they do not have anywhere near, some of them have zero exposure to this derivative market. Okay, now we understand, you and me, that the top three banks, we're talking about Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citigroup, over $150 trillion worth in derivative exposure. Okay, this is a time bomb. It's going to go off. Thank you, old man Odin. But I bet I'm older than you. Anyway, so again, what else is happening here? What are we hearing about? What is the mainstream propaganda ministry allowing us to know? People can't make ends meet. They're borrowing beyond their eyeballs. Loan defaults skyrocketing across the board, people are pulling their cash out of these institutions, okay? They can't put any cash in because they're being strangled to death, but they're pulling their cash out as well. So let me read this to you. This is in your inbox right now if you do subscribe to my free newsletter, okay? So this is the FDIC. Banks showing signs of stress. Duh. Can I please get a duh? Thank you, Tony. I want a duh from you. Okay, duh. I mean, come on, please. All right. So Lions and Friends, let's just cover this real quick. Second quarter earnings at U.S. banks amounted to $70.8 billion, according to the FDIC. This tally, this is the FDIC again, this tally marks an 11.3% drop from the previous quarter. And I don't think we're done by a long shot. And these are the numbers they are allowing us to know. I would be willing to bet it's much worse. These are the numbers they're allowing us to know. Listen to this, please. This combined with deposit withdrawals, increasing loan defaults, and overall falling demand for loans is putting stress on the banking sector as a whole. Oh, really? Who saw that coming? Oh, maybe it was you and me. Look, all you need really is maybe one functioning brain cell, people, to see what's going on. Now, they go on to say, higher interest rates have also hit banks in other ways as well. Check this out. Unrealized losses on securities are up 8.3% again from the previous quarter to a total of $558.4 billion. Okay, over half a trillion. This is also according to the FDIC. Now, they go on to say, are you ready? These risks, combined with concerns about commercial real estate fundamentals, which is something we haven't even started talking about, people. You and I have outlined this before. We've just sketched it out broadly, but there is a huge problem here, okay, with regard to commercial real estate. Right, especially in office markets, as well as pressure on funding levels as net interest margins will be matters of continued supervisory attention by the FDIC. Don't you feel all warm and fuzzy? I know I do. Knowing that the FDIC is watching out for us. They're going to keep an eye on these institutions because they know they're all screwed up. You and I know they're all screwed up. People, look. Find somewhere else to keep your cash, okay? Get unbanked. Keep in these institutions only what you have to, okay? Just to pay bills and to function. The rest of it, people always ask me, hey, Greg, what should I do with my money? Pull it out and stuff it somewhere underneath your mattress like our grandparents did. Okay, that's my grandparents did that. They stuffed the money under the freaking mattress. They hid it in the house. Or look, are you nervous about doing something like that? I can get it. So you could roll your cash if you want to. Okay, I'm just throwing an idea out there. Okay. And no idea that I can possibly throw out is without risk. Okay. Stuffing cash under your mattress obviously carries a risk with it. And what I'm about to tell you also carries risk with it. You could roll your cash into short-term securities, short-term treasuries, and pull 5% out of the market every few months. Okay, it's not a bad strategy. It's supposed to be super safe. Anyway, you got to figure out. I don't know how many of you have exorbitant amounts of cash laying around. If that's the issue, then I'm sure you have a little more education in the financial world than the average person. But if you're the average guy or the average girl, chances are you do not have exorbitant amounts of cash laying around, and you can't just pull it out. I'm telling you, people, you got to debank yourself. I think it's part of a quiet revolution that's going on. Disconnect yourself from the system. How do they win? How do these institutions that we're being warned about by the FDIC win? Well, by forcing us to participate in their system. Do you understand? Thank you, Clever Custom Performance. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That little dog thing. Anyway, we got to get out. All right. If we all keep participating in their freaking twisted system, we're just done. All right. Again, I believed when I finally understood that there may be a possible way to sidestep the central banking system by, let's say, utilizing or keeping your cash locked up in a cryptocurrency. This is before I realized how volatile that space was. I thought that was a nice place to be. I still think it is. I mean, I think a pretty in-depth understanding of the markets as a whole, the cryptocurrency space as a whole, and commodities. That's what I do. So I better know what the freak I'm talking about. Anyway, and I'm not saying you should put your cash. Hold on a minute here. I'm not saying you should pull your cash out and throw it into cryptocurrencies. This is an extremely specialized spot with extreme volatility. Okay, it's not. It is not. Let me just do this. Okay, because I want to make sure I'm getting this. It is not for everyone. All right. It's for people who have an extremely high risk tolerance, people who can deal with volatility, like literally off the freaking Richter scale. You can't be all in on any one thing, but and you all know this already. Yes, so physical silver, Greg's favorite asset, but you got to have your cash spread out. And if you need to have, if for some reason you feel an extreme desire to stay in cash, to stay in the dollar, and you just want to pile $100 bills from the floor to the ceiling, why you'd want to do that, I think you're a little nutso here. Why you'd want to be in any central bank issued currency, these things are under attack by the issuing central banks who are sucking the purchasing power out of them every freaking day. And with this freak, yes, and he is a freak and has nothing to do with racism, this freaking Jefferson guy over here, who is a thing, and he is not human, has nothing to do with his skin color. He could be freaking green, okay? I don't trust these things that are in the Federal Reserve, especially a vice chair who's got all kinds of say-so, and they chose this guy only because he's going to spend into oblivion. You know that, with his platform. It's a platform of poverty and inequality. Yes, very important stuff. Of course it is, but do you think he really gives a damn about it? No. Anyway. I'm starting to sweat here, people, but you know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going with all this. You got to convert some of your cash into commodities, hard assets. You know this already. If you want commodity exposure, there's 1,000 ways to do this, but you can't stay in cash is what I'm trying to get out. It's an asset class that is under direct attack by their issuing central banks. Why do you want to have this stuff? I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't have a lot of cash laying around. That's the truth. I have assets. I own a lot of things. Okay. You got that's the difference. If you look at people who are maybe a little bit more well off than the next guy, it's not because they have a lot of cash laying around. It's because they own things. Okay. You ever watch the movie Wall Street with Michael Douglas, the first one? He says 2 words, I own. Those 2 words, and he says it in that exact frame, I own. Yes, owning things, that's yours, okay, without a counterparty risk to it. That is real wealth. You understand? Holding large amounts of central bank issued currency isn't the way to be wealthy or create wealth. You're going to lose purchasing power as, again, we're going to see a spending binge like you do. Look at this sitting up here. Do you think this guy, again, the freak? He's a freak, not a racist here. This freak over here is going to try to constrain spending. No, every central bank wants to inflate, and they want policymakers to play the game along with them. Why do you think 88 thumbs up to 10 thumbs down, bipartisan, voted this guy in? Because they're setting you up, man. They're setting me up too, but they want you to believe that there's a red party and there's a blue one, and both of them, they have your best interest in mind. Nothing could be further from the truth, and you all know that. Where's the crash, Greg.com? You tell me.com. Economy's dead. It's dead and buried, and it's got nowhere to go but much worse. As for the stock market, yes, I am still long. Why? Because I have access to pulling my cash out of there in a nanosecond. I don't know if a lot of people do. Anyway, people, before I go off anymore, I don't want this video to grow too long. Any specific? Yes, JEPI. What specific questions do you have for me? Again, am I clear that? And I know that 99.9% of you agree. The video I did had nothing to do with me being a racist, people. Nothing at all. Okay. I call these Biden's a freaking thing, creature, vomitous mess. Does that make me racist? I'm calling Bidenstein a vomitous mess, creature, beyond thing, okay, along with every other freaking Fed president. Who's this? Janet Yellen. Greg, you're racist. Read this face. It's Janet Yellen's face. This is what she looks like to me, people. Does it make me racist that I'm calling? Oh, yeah, I do get, oh, why are you bashing on a little nice old lady? You think Janet Yellen's a nice little old lady? Really? Is that what you think? How about no? I don't think there's a single person here that believes that's true. Anyway, the EU is worse off than the United States right now. Their problems are worse. Look, I've explained years ago. Let's talk about that real quick. All right. The problems that we are facing here in the United States are not the fault of the mummy man right now. This is a collective effort over a whole bunch of presidents. The last 3 presidents have outspent every single president before them combined. Okay. This is a collective effort that we're seeing here. Collusion with central banks who are destroying the world, creating a neo-feudal system. You all know that. Now, because the US dollar, again, is the world reserve currency, at least for now, maybe that's being taken down brick by brick, if you get my meaning here. Okay, the BRIC nations are trying to control energy. They are trying to dominate energy, people, and that is a direct threat to the petrodollar, and that means life here in the United States is going to change. So, being that here in the United States, we can export inflation to the rest of the world. That's why they get it first, and it would come back here last. I wrote a paper on this years and years ago, how the United States would be the last domino to fall, and the rest of the world would suffer first because of this mechanism of exporting inflation to the world. And they're sick of it. The world is frankly sick of it. Yes, Mr. David, energy is the key to control. I'm glad you said that and put it in those exact words, because that's a fact. I think you know this. Anyway, people, you're all so awesome, every single one of you here. Thank you for letting me get this stuff off of my chest, allowing me to share this stuff with you. I hope I am making sense to all of you. And again, look, when I talk about this stuff, just do your own research on this and think about what it means for you. How everyone's situation is different. Okay, what's you need to do for yourself, your family, the people you care about. We need each other. Okay, that's we're our greatest commodity. Okay, that's why every Friday you hear me say the same 3 things: love each other, care about each other, be charitable. And I really believe that those 3 things, we could change the world, and I think we are. Okay, little by little, we're making a difference in the world. We're getting through to people. All of us here, if we met each other on the street, we'd be like, hey, we all be happy and stuff. We're a big family. This is a worldwide family, right, Magic Mika? We love you too. All right, people, I'm going to call it. I hope, look, if I missed your questions, and I get beat up for that all the time too, I apologize. It's kind of impossible for me to get to everything here. And I do apologize for that. But I will see all of you in the morning. Okay, ponder the things that we've spoken about. Let me know what you think about this. The FDIC, another warning here. How many warnings? My dog is getting angry. How many? She's warning us too. How many warnings do we need to get before we realize that there's a serious problem? I know every single one of you do. People out there walking around through time and space, not knowing who they are, what they're doing, or anything else. That's the general population, but not this family, this worldwide family that we've created together. All right, people, I am so out of here. Again, love you. Thank you. Thank you for those thumbs up. We got 600 thumbs up here. I would like to see more of those. Again, those thumbs up allow the algorithms to show the video. I'm counting on you. Those thumbs up are so valuable. You want people to hear this stuff? Share the video. Those thumbs up, get them out there. All right. I'll see you in the morning. I got to go.